everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suyin. Today I wanted to talk about how I invest overseas, or how I invest specifically in the US economy, US stock markets. And this has been a highly requested video, and it took me a really long time to get here because I'm just one of those really stubborn, really resistant women because I was so adamant of getting my local stock market portfolio to a stage where I am comfortable enough to let it just run by itself. And I guess I wanted to have some mastery over that before I moved on to a different stock exchange. And yes, investing in the US is definitely advantageous because then I get to diversify my currency. But there were a lot of barriers that stood in my way before I was able to get to this space. Maybe you can relate as well. So the first barrier was that, investing in the US made me a bit nervous because now I had to look into taxation. Because we are in Malaysia, we don't have capital gains tax on our equities or our stocks, and that is phenomenal. But in the US, they do have taxation on those. And especially as a foreigner investing in the US, we are subjected to 30% tax withheld on our dividends. So that really bugged me because I don't really like the idea of giving money away in taxes, but it's one of those things that if you want to participate in the US stock market and if you want to buy individual companies, you cannot run away from taxes. It's not something that we can run away from legally anyway, so don't do it. Okay, anyway, so the second barrier that I faced was currency because I am earning in ringgit, and ringgit is, the currency that is always surprising because everything else looks so expensive. So 1 USD buys me 4.16 ringgit or 4.18, somewhere around there right now. And in order to convert, I would have to divide by 4.18. And that would mean that my portfolio size is smaller. And buying in the US, the difference is that we can buy in lot sizes of 1 share, and that is kind of cool, but at the same time it looks really, really small in terms of number of shares and portfolio size. So that really bugged me. So I wanted to focus on earning more money in my day job and really like leveling up in terms of my earning capacity before I started looking at the US market. So I think I'm kind of there. I'm at this point where I'm adjusting the amount of money that I want to put in my Malaysian investments versus my diversified foreign investments. So that is the second barrier. The third barrier would be to sort out the mess of information that we have, which is about which brokerage to choose. So yes, we can invest using global trading type CDS from our Malaysian brokerages, but it would be incredibly expensive, and I will link my friend's blog post down below. So my friend is Dividend Magic. He used to buy US companies through his Hong Leong global trading account, and he showed this example where he had received dividends, and after deducting for taxes and fees and things like that, his dividend was completely wiped out, and it was in cents, like worth of dividends, and it was so sad. So I didn't want to give all my money away in fees to the brokerage houses. What I was planning to do was to find a brokerage that is compatible with investing in the US and hopefully giving me very, very low fees, because these things add up, especially if you're a trader. But I'm not a trader, I am a long-term investor, so it is something that still concerns me in terms of not wanting to pay so much in fees. So these three were huge barriers already, and today I want to help you through some of these barriers, especially the third one, talking about brokerages. So when it came to selecting the brokerage house of my choice, I had several different options, and I already knew in my mind which ones I wanted to zoom in on, and they were Interactive Brokers, TD Ameritrade, eToro, and those are the main three that I had in my consideration list. And straight off the bat, I was already afraid of eToro. So this is just a personal opinion, but eToro is super notorious for having certain notoriety. I think that's all I'm gonna say. But basically, the beef that a lot of people have with eToro is that the Securities Commission of Malaysia went out of their way to publish a whole list of websites that they are not regulating or affiliated with, and eToro was one of them. And the funny thing is that Interactive Brokers and TD Ameritrade are also not regulated by our Securities Commission of Malaysia. But, you know, eToro takes more heat because they are into different things such as the withdrawal. You should see what it's like to withdraw money using eToro after you want to cash out. I hear it is pretty interesting. I don't have first-hand experience, so that's all I'm gonna say. But what I am actually saying is that all three of these brokerage houses are not regulated by the SC of Malaysia because they don't have operations here. So that is what it is. And yeah, so immediately eToro was off my list. So that left me with Interactive Brokers and TD Ameritrade. So I actually went for Interactive Brokers first. And I liked Interactive Brokers because it was one of those reputable ones. Both of them are actually. And I wanted to try Interactive Brokers out because I have friends who are currently using them. And I think I had a conversation with Invest with Stanley, and I will link his channel down below, and he said he was using that and to give it a go. And what I really liked about Interactive Brokers was that they had fractional shares, so I thought that was very interesting. If you cannot afford one share, you can also buy fractions of the shares, and that made affordability quite good, especially because we are coming from Malaysia, we don't earn in USD. So the thing that I had issues with Interactive Brokers is that they have this restriction of creating usernames that are highly numerical. So you can type whatever username you want, but you need to have at least two numerics in there, two numbers in there, and I cannot for the life of me remember my username. So I actually signed up for Interactive Brokers twice, and I forgot my usernames twice. And this is because in between the process of getting activated in my account, which was very simple, very straightforward, just upload certain documents and fill in all the details. Between that period of time, I actually was hovering between deciding to put money into Interactive Brokers and start the whole investing process or not. And what really stopped me was their inactivity fees or dormancy fees. So Interactive Brokers has this inactivity levy for people who don't trade every single month. And this is something that really concerns me because I am the sort of investor that only wants to swing when the time is right or when I actually feel confident that I am going to hit the ball, figuratively speaking. I just hovered back and forth, and between the months that I did not open my Interactive Brokers account, I forgot my username, and in the email, they have never ever mentioned your account username. So if you forget it, that's kind of GG, dead end. And yeah, that was it for my two Interactive Brokers accounts. So I kind of let it sit on the back burner. I thought that yes, I want to invest in the US, but I still haven't found the right platform for me. And then a couple of months later, maybe, TD Ameritrade announced that they were gonna do zero commissions on their trading in US stocks. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's time to sign up for TD Ameritrade. And that's what I did. And the process was very smooth, very easy. And I still remember my username, so that is a good thing. And the thing is, up till now, my account is still under process of opening, and it's been a couple of months. So I don't know what's going on there. I've sent a couple of emails, I've re-uploaded my files and documents and things like that. So I hope it's going to be able to be processed quickly, but they did give a disclaimer that it's going to take some time to open that brokerage account because everybody is opening brokerage accounts, and because it's open online, it's super accessible, which is great news for us, but it will take some time. We'll discuss fees and things like that in the next section, but yeah, I just wanted to walk you through that really long-winded process of actually deciding which brokerage to go with, and yeah, I chose TD Ameritrade in the end. I hope I'm going to be really happy. It's been a super long process, and at the same time, I've already been investing in the US market through one of my old brokerage accounts that I've had in the past, which is my Fund Supermart 1 or FSM1 under the Singaporean website section, not the Malaysian section, which is only limited to unit trusts and bonds and all of that in Malaysia. So on the Singapore side, we can actually purchase stocks, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, but the fees are still higher than TD Ameritrade, which is at 0 commissions. And yeah, I have a couple of US companies in the small amounts while I'm testing out how I react and how I do my research and things like that. So it's always fun to test the waters, and I don't know whether it's a female thing where I am more risk averse when I am exploring and looking into new things, but I guess this is something that is interesting to talk about because there are not as many females talking about finance and investing. There are definitely more males out here, and I think it is great that we are getting more and more people into this conversation so that we can have more representation and diversity in the communication and in the dialogue. Yes. All right. And oh yeah, there was a few other brokerages that came to mind as well. So Tiger Brokers was up in the running, and Webull as well. And in fact, Webull is actually having 0 commissions off of all of their share purchases of all exchanges apparently. So I'll link that in the description bar down below. I haven't tested Webull out yet personally, but they have a very interesting marketing, how should I put this? They have a very interesting marketing edge for them where they are giving free stocks for when you have deposited a certain amount, $100, into your brand new Webull account. So I thought that was interesting, and I think it is intriguing what we can win or what we can receive in a free stock every time we refer more people. But I don't know, it makes me nervous as well. Would that appear in my portfolio, and would that affect my portfolio returns because I'm not choosing that company, it's being given, and you don't really know what is going to be given as well. So that's the exciting part. I guess it's kind of like a lucky draw, if you will. And yeah, so there are a couple of different other brokerage houses that are in the running for consideration if that is what you're into. But today I'm just going to focus on the differences between the three and maybe give you a bonus of Tiger Brokers and